Hey guys, Joshua Neal here, and today we're taking a look at Edgecrusher by Fear Factory. Remember, if you enjoy the lesson, please click like and let me know. You can also leave me any comments or questions you may have down below. I do my best to answer all of those. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any future updates, and as always, grab that full note and tab transcription down in the box so that you can follow along at home. Alright, let's get to it. Before we get started, we'll need to tune our bass. Now this song's actually tricky because Christian Oldwolvers, the bass player for Fear Factory at the time, actually played this song on an upright bass, which is why we get that very distinct, warm, muddy tone out of the bass. Live, all of the footage I could find, all the bass players are using an electric bass, typically a 5-string, so that's what I'm going to be using here. You can also do this on a 4-string. I'll show you how in just a moment. Tuning on a 5-string, you're going to tune everything down a whole step. You're going to go to A standard. So you're going to end up with an A, a D, G, C, and F. If you're doing this on a 4-string, you're going to tune your 4 strings to the bottom 4 of the 5-string bass, which means your E string would come all the way down to an A, your A string would come down to a D, your D string would come down to a G, and your G string would come down to a C. You do not need the high string, the high 5th string, in order to play this song. You actually only need the bottom 3. So if you have a 3-string bass, you're in luck too. But either way, you want to make sure that that low string is an A, next one's a D, and the next one is a G. If you want to try this one on upright, you'd tune your 4 strings down to A standard, and play it as normal. But getting into the riffs, we're looking at the intro. Intro, which is also the chorus riff. So we'll kill 2 birds with 1 stone here. That riff looks like... So it's all on the low string. I'm going to call this the B string. If it's the low string on your 4-string bass, it would actually be your E string that's been tuned down, but I'm going to call it a B string just because I happen to be using a 5. We're going to start with just the 1st fret and the open to begin with. 1st and open on the B string. We've got 1, open, open, open 1, open, open, open 1, open, open, open 1, 2, 1, O, B, 1 and 2, E and 4 and 2 and 4 and. Next part of the riff, you're really just going to flip it around. Instead of going 1 to open, you're going to go open to 1. And instead of going 1, 2, 1, O at the end, you're going to just go open 1, open 1. So if I put all of that riff together, it looks like 1, O, 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 1, O, 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 1, O, 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 1, 2, 1, O, O, 1, O, 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 1, O, O, 1, O, 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 1, O, 1. And that's your intro. That's also your chorus riff. The verse riff, which is the one that people usually remember from this song, looks like... So that's going to be open B string, 2nd fret on the E, or A if you're on a 4-string, open on the E, 1st fret on the A, down to the 2nd fret, 1st fret of the low B string. And that would go 1, 2, and 3, 4. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and. So a lot of offbeats, a lot of syncopation here. 3, 4, 1, 2. O, 2, O, 1, 2, 1, O. and that's going to repeat a few times. Then we get into the pre-chorus riff, which looks like... We're going to start on the open B string. We're going to come up to the first fret on the E. That's a little funky syncopation there. I'll try to talk through that. Got 1, 2, and a, E, and. 2, and a, E, and. From there, we're going to go to the 4th fret of the low B string, and we're going to do almost the same figure, except on the 5th fret of the E string now. And then we're going to hop down and do 2, 1 on the low string. And a, E, and 4. And a, E, and do 1. And a, E, and 4. And a, E, and 2, 1. So you're doing what's called a tritone there. That's when you go up a string and over a fret. Open to 1, 4 to 5. You're just moving it up in sequence. The first, I guess, 3 times you could consider it, you're going to end it that way. You're going to go. The very last time, though, there's a bit of a hold, and it's actually a little tricky because it's supposed to be in time, but I don't think they were recording this song to a click, so it's a little loose. You kind of just have to catch it on the fly. That last revolution threw it from, if you're looking at the transcription, measure 12 into the second ending. So we've got the same starting point, open to the 1. When you get to 4, though, 4 on the B string, you're going to hold for 1 3/4 beats. The 5th, the 5th fret on the E string, which normally comes in on the and of 2, is actually going to come in on the last 16th note, the So it would be 1, 2, E, and 1, 2, E, and Then we're going to have 3 and on the 5th fret, back to 2, 1 on the low string. So that in time is 2 and E, and 2 E, and 3, and 2, 1, 2 E, and 3, and. The entire band does it, including the drums. So if you're having trouble counting it out, just listen to the drums real closely, and you should be able to catch it. That brings us into the first chorus, which is exactly the same as the intro. I'm not going to talk through that again. The interlude here is based on the verse riff, but there's a little bit of a variation, including this gigantic triple stop, which sounds really, really disgusting, especially on the upright bass, and it's awesome. Rhythmically, it's almost exactly the same as the verse. You're going to start with the open B string, and then the tricky part here, you're going to play the open B string, the 2nd fret on the E, and the 4th fret on the A string, and you're going to play that all in tandem. So you're going to do that as one big rake across 3 strings. And it's going to sound just wet and disgusting and wobbly, and it's going to be great. Like that. Same rhythm though. 1, 2, and 4. Next part, back to the open E string, 1st fret on the A string, and then down to the 2nd fret on the B string, and the 1st fret again on the B string. But this 1st fret comes in just a little bit earlier, just 1/16th note earlier than it normally does. So it'd be. It's a subtle difference, but if you want to do it the same way as the verse riff and just throw in that big triple stop, that would also be okay. Second verse, exactly the same as the first one, so we're not going to talk about that. We're going to move right to the second pre-chorus. The second pre-chorus, the only difference between that one and the first one is that it does not do that hold at the very end. that hold where the drums stop playing. It's just going to plow right through with the main riff. 1 1 1 1 1 4 5 5 5 5 2 1 0 1 1 1 1 1 4 5 5 5 5 2 1. Just that over and over and over again. Moving on, we're not going to look at the next chorus because it's exactly the same as the first chorus in the intro, so we're going to move right ahead to the first bridge. This is the, I guess the breakdown part, the industrial breakdown. It's all going to be on the low B string, and the primary rhythm you're doing is 1, 2, and rest. And you really want to catch those strings and make sure that beat 4 is totally clear. Rest. You're going to do that 4 times. Rest. And rest. Rest. So right there, the 4th time, you're going to catch the and of 4. Only the front part of beat 4 is going to be clear. 1, 2, and 1. Next one's going to be a full beat 4 of rest. The 6th time through it is going to be with the and of 4 again. 7th time is going to have beat 4 as a full rest again, and then the very last time we're going to go 2 and 4, and we're going to build up into the next part. So altogether, bridge 1 is rest, 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 and 1, rest, and 1, rest, and 4, and building up into it. Bridge 2, which I think is the coolest part of the song, the guitar is doing one part and the bass is doing a slightly different part, so it actually creates this really dense layer that the scratching can occur over, and it's a really just ugly dense part, and it sounds really great if you do it this way. The guitars are just going from the 5th fret to the 4th fret on the low string. That's what the guitars are doing. The bass, however, is starting on the 5th fret and then going up to the 6th fret of the E string, playing the same rhythm though. So while the guitar is going, the bass is going, which is pretty cool. It creates this really thick, actually it'd be like this, creates this really thick inverted 5th every other note. That's actually, it's very difficult to hear on the recording. It actually took me a while to pick it out, but I'm glad that I persevered, and I'm glad that I'm able to share it with you today. The actual rhythm there, pretty common rhythm in music in general. It's a group of 3/16 notes, another 3/16 notes, and then 2/16 notes. So it has that 3 3 2 3 3 2 3 3 2. Is what you're going to be thinking there. And you're just going to alternate between the 5th fret on the B and the 6th fret on the E for that. At the very end, you're going to go open B, 1st fret, open. So all together, that's just like that. The second part of that, where the guitar starts moving through it, you're going to catch whatever the first note the guitar played, whatever that first chord was, you're going to play it in unison with them, but then you're going to go back to that 6th fret tritone. So while the guitar is going, you're going to replace that 4th fret with the 6th fret on the E string. So you're going to start on 8, up to the 6th fret of the E, and then land on 5, and then do open 1 0 on the low string. 8 6 5 0 1 0. Then you're just going to move that note down every single time. Move it down a fret every single time. So after 8, we're going to do 7, up to 6 on the E, 5 0 1 0, 6 on the B, 6 5, 0, 1, 0. And then finally 5, 6, 5, the original 0, 1, 0. So all together we've got 8, 7, 6, 5, 8, 7, 6, 5. Same rhythm as the first part of the bridge. We go from there into another pre-chorus. It's the same as the first pre-chorus. It's got that hold at the very end. Again, if the rhythm is a little tricky for you, just try to catch it with the drums. Try to listen to the drums and the other instruments instead of attempting to count it out. Ideally, though, if you can count it out, it's going to be a lot easier. Moving into the third chorus. The third chorus is the same as all the other choruses. And that's going to repeat. Then we actually extend that chorus into an outro where we take that rhythm that we've been doing in the chorus and we just make it a little bit more complex, but the general idea is going to be the same. And that's going to look like... So it starts the same way, 1, 0, 0, 0, 1. Although here, instead of playing only one open string after that, you're going to play 2. So we've got 1, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 0. Then we're going to continue on. 0, 0, 1, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 2, 1, 0. Or if I was to count that out, it would be 1 and 2 and E and 4 and E and 2 and E2, 1, 0. Switch to the frets at the end there just to make it a little bit easier. Then we flip it around again. Instead of going 1, 0, we're going to go 0, 1. So we've got open 1, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 0, 1, 0, 1, 0. So that very end there, it gets a little bit simpler. On beat 2, you're going to play 2 open strings, and then 1, 0, 1, 0. So those last couple measures are 1 and 2 and E and 4 and E and 2 and 3 and 4 and. If I put that whole outro together, it looks like... 1, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 2, 1, 0, 0, 1, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 0, 1, 0, 1, 0. Very end of it, big hit on the open B string. And that's it. There it is, guys. Hope you enjoyed the lesson. If you did, be sure to click like and let me know. You can also leave me any comments or questions you may have down below. I do my best to get back to all of those. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any future updates. And as always, if you haven't grabbed that full note and tab transcription down in the box yet, be sure to do it. And until next time,